Morning. How's everybody's Saturday morning going so far? So a sticky situation. So somewhere in the last few years of my military career, I got laterally transferred from the unit that I was with. I got promoted. I was now carrying a supervisor position, or I was now carrying my non-commissioned officer. And what happened is my first sergeant pulled a whole bunch of us guys who were promotable or ready to move on to the next rank into an office and said, "Hey, your guys' names are all on a hat to get promoted, but that might mean some of you might get laterally transferred or transferred to another unit somewhere, wherever the Army wants to put you." That's how the Army is. So I got my rank, and I got laterally transferred, or I got transferred to another unit, and I was legitimately the only junior NCO. And so it was the unit that I got laterally transferred to was, I think, only like 50 people strong. Like it was a pretty small unit, and they had no NCOs besides the 1E6 and the 1E7 that were holding the fort down. And so when I got there, they were tickled pink because, hey, now we have some junior leadership. Now we have somebody who can actually take the reins on some of this stuff. And so I reported like I was supposed to get my paperwork all into that unit's database and all that. And I sat down with the detachment sergeant, and he kind of gave me the rundown. And he more or less put me into a senior leadership role, even though it wasn't necessarily at my level of leadership yet. But because I was the only hard stripes, as they call them, buck sergeant, well, so he more or less told me that I might be one of the platoon sergeants until we get some more people at rank. So, okay, cool. Someone is seeing my potential and wanting me to show it. So I was a newly promoted sergeant, and I was overseeing 20 personnel, 25 personnel. And I was a new guy into the unit, so none of these soldiers knew me. And so that was potentially a good thing because I was starting fresh and I wasn't getting my rank and still among people that knew me, right? So there wasn't that favoritism, or there wasn't any negative dynamics or any narratives that were going to be present. And so I asked some discovery questions, and I asked some questions to kind of get a feel for things, and he's like, "Yeah, no problem," and he answered them. He kind of showed me around the unit to kind of give me a feel for where it was, and this little area was pretty small. There wasn't a whole lot to it. And we talked, and we kind of got to know each other a little bit, and I told him where I was coming from and what I was doing and all that good stuff. And so the first get together with all the troops, all the soldiers, I got a chance to introduce myself, and I got a chance to stand out in front of them and lead them um, as a platoon sergeant. And they all seemed like pretty cool folks. They all seemed like they were open to the idea of having somebody lead them that did not know them, had no idea about them or anything like that. And we all kind of meshed really well. So since I was the platoon sergeant, there was some administration stuff that had to be done per my leadership position. So I that first day I had to pull each soldier aside and start a file and start training stuff and getting their administration stuff at my level going, getting their contact information, that kind of thing, asking questions, getting to know them on a personal basis a little bit, because it's important when you're in leadership to learn your people, to know your people, to know their capabilities, know their weaknesses, know their strengths. So that way, when the various situations might come up, you know who you can turn to trust. Right? You're not. It's not a. It's not a favoritism or a singling anybody out. It's just acknowledging those folks for who they are and for what they are, not anything else. But my first gathering with these guys, man, everything went in gals, in gals. We gotta add that in there too now. But um, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you're given the opportunity, when someone sees the potential, and they're gonna hand you the reins. The question is, do you step in with everything that you are and you put everything behind it? Or do you just think it's a game and just go and play the act? I've noticed that with a lot of the supervisors that have been put over me with things that I do for work and everything else. A lot of my supervisor role folks, I think they were just winging it. But me, I went into my role with every ounce of my energy, every ounce of my time, every ounce of everything that I was. And I poured everything into it. Because I had 20, 25 personnel that needed my supervisory time, energy, effort, right? And I had two senior NCOs that were looking to me to lead this platoon of personnel. I didn't have a say. I did, but since I wore the rank that nobody else did, it was kind of given to me. So I did what I had to do. Per what needed to be done. But love you guys. Until next time.